Hi, this is Steve Rybrook from LedgeView Partners, and today I'm going to demonstrate the equipment management feature within our CRM for oil and gas. Just want to let you know that the CRM you're about to see is powered by Microsoft Dynamics CRM, but LedgeView Partners also does projects with Salesforce.com. So with that being said, let's jump right into equipment management. So equipment management is a completely separate module within our oil and gas CRM. So I can hover over Dynamics CRM and jump right into equipment tracking. And the concept here is to really keep track of where all your equipment is, and most of my clients are worried about where all their tanks are. But it's not limited to tanks. You can keep track of really anything. So that being said, there's usually 3 pieces that are involved with getting this all set up, and one of the pieces is done already, and that is your accounts. Your customers are typically in CRM already. As a matter of fact, our oil and gas product ties into your back office, so we are going to have all of your active customers in CRM already. So the next piece you need is just all your equipment. So we've got to go in and get all your equipment set up in CRM. So here's just an example of some equipment that you might have set up in CRM. And then the third piece is to tie each piece of equipment to an account or a customer. So that's in the account equipment file. So that's all this record is really doing, is it's saying, in this case, Fairview Manufacturing, this customer has this tank. And as a matter of fact, we loaned it to them. There's a transaction type you can use to define, what the commitment is between you and the customer as far as this tank goes. Whether you loaned it to them, you rented it to them, you sold it to them, whatever. We work with you to define those transaction types. Also, you record when you gave the customer the tank or delivered it there, and then if you ever take it back for whatever reason, or it just gets discarded, you can record an end date. So these records with a start date and end date, my assumption would be they're no longer at that customer site. But those without an end date means that's where they still are. So that's pretty much how you set this up. And then the benefit is somebody usually is doing all of this work to keep all this updated. But then if I just jump to an account, I'm just going to jump right back to the main screen for this account. So if I'm looking at Fairview Manufacturing, here's the main screen for Fairview Manufacturing. Those equipment records are tied right to that account. So I can go into CRM and jump right to Account Equipment and say, show me all of the equipment that we've ever given to or still have at this account. So here's that tank that's no longer there. And here's a couple tanks that, whether they're tanks or hoses or whatever, that are still at Fairview Manufacturing. So I'm just going to open up one of these records here just to show you a couple more powerful things you can do. Now that we have this, if, for instance, your customer made a commitment to you that said, hey, if you loan me this tank, I'll buy so many gallons of this product every year to put in that tank. So if they do that, you can record that here. And then the other benefit that you have with our oil and gas product is, again, being tied into your back office, we have your invoice data. So having your invoice data, we know what this customer is buying. So I can easily tell you if this customer is making his commitment. If I look back the last 12 months, did he buy, approximately 5,000 gallons worth? So to do that, there's just a dashboard that you can run. So I'm going to go into, we have an area called Workplace for dashboards, and I'm just going to go into this equipment tracking annual commitment dashboard. And it lets me pick one or all users, put in a percentage. So just as an example, I'll say, show me everybody who has equipment with a commitment level. They have equipment with a commitment level. Show me everybody who's not at 100%. And I know I don't have great data in here, but I think you'll get the concept. So this is listing, here's Fairview Manufacturing. Here's the tank they have. And as I scroll over just a little bit, you'll see that commitment level of 5,000, but so far in the last 12 months, they've only purchased 40 gallons. So they're not even at 1% of their commitment. So big problem there, right? We also show a few other things on this dashboard, such as, when's the last time they ordered, how much gross profit they've contributed in the last 12 months. So some more information on this particular dashboard. One other thing I'll just show you before I wrap up. There is a dashboard that kind of lets you show which of your sales team are loaning out or having equipment out in the field. So there's a dashboard here, if I can get this thing to run. Let me go into it again. So there's a dashboard where you can limit it to certain transaction types, which we talked about already. But I'll just pick all, and you can also group your equipment by category. So you might have different types of category out there. I'll just leave them all selected. And what I can do is run a report, or in this case a dashboard, that would list all of my sales team and would show how many accounts does each salesperson have that has equipment that meets this criteria, how many pieces of equipment are involved, and then what is the value of that equipment. So that's just another good way to get a snapshot of your equipment. So I think that's enough on equipment tracking. I will point out that I had one customer who had so much equipment out in the field and just didn't, thousands of tanks and other pieces of equipment, and they really didn't have a good tracking feature that when they went through the effort to get this into CRM, I heard the comment that they thought this almost paid for CRM, just this one feature, just because it gave them a way to really get a handle on their equipment, where it is, how long it's been there. And then if you think about all the other features you have with CRM, things like tasks. So if you want to use a task to keep track of maintenance that you're doing on each piece of equipment, you can easily do that in CRM, right? You could pull up an equipment record, put in the fact that you've got to go do some preventive maintenance against that, record when that's completed, and then you'll have a record right against that piece of equipment, right in CRM as well. So a lot of advantages, a lot of cool features. Most of my clients really take advantage of this equipment tracking module. So with that being said, I'm just going to flip back to the PowerPoint and wrap things up here with two brief slides. One, just a quick explanation on LedgeView Partners. The big note on here is CRM is all we do. So our whole team is focused on CRM. We're headquartered in Appleton, Wisconsin. We do have expertise in the oil and gas industry, so that helps us immensely when we're working with oil and gas customers on setting up their CRM, because we can talk their language. As I mentioned earlier, we do stuff in Dynamics CRM, which is what our oil and gas product is powered by, and we also do Salesforce.com. So final slide, if you like what you see, have questions, want to take a deeper dive into our whole oil and gas product, or just any questions you have on CRM in general, Kevin Brown would be the person you would reach out to. Here's his phone number and email address. So hopefully you've learned a little bit with this brief video. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great day.